Seriously?
Donkey Jaw Projects!
So I got things today. This is pretty awesome. Don Martin, Captain Klutz. I'm pretty sure my stepfather had this book growing up, and in another video I think it shows a drawing I did from this book or somewhere from Captain Klutz. Don Martin's awesome though. Got this on eBay for a small amount of money, and I'm pretty amped that I get to check it out. This is like literally the only Mad magazine thing I have right now, I think. I used to have Mad magazines and some of the digests and stuff. I remember the Spy vs. Spy digest I was like super into. I love Spy vs. Spy and a bunch of other things I was into. But yeah, I don't know. I need to get some more of these though, because these are freaking awesome. The art is beautiful. I love it. I'm trying to see if I happen to see whatever it was I copied as a kid. It's funny, I was looking at it recently and I'm like, wow, like I copied it pretty good. Like, I don't know, I just wish this stupid label wasn't on the cover. It wasn't on the cover in the picture on eBay. Then I also got this Kickstarter reward, Cue Ball. One of the artists I follow on Facebook, Barry McLean Jr. He's friends with, he did some work with Peter Palmiotti a while back. He was doing pencils. Peter was inking some of his pencils for something, and not this. But yeah, pretty excited. Writer Mike Barron, artist Barry McLean Jr. Check him out on Facebook. He's awesome. He's really inspirational because he just works super hard, and he works on Valiant titles a lot of times, and I've just watched him just kick butt every day. Like every day he's showing pictures of penciled pages he's doing, and he just never stops working, and he's an awesome dude. So check out Cue Ball, good stuff. And today is day number 92 of 100 days of making comics, and it's been an interesting day. So in a kind of brainstorming session with a collaborator for a project, I kind of found out that maybe what I was writing for the last few days for the story was not all that great. And I kind of wasn't sure where I was going with what I was writing anyways, but you know, I was just figuring I'm working it out, you know. But I shared it and with a collaborator, and you know, it just was brought to my attention that it wasn't the greatest thing. Like, it was going in a direction that maybe I wasn't into too much. Excuse me. My throat is like hurting me. So I don't know, it's weird, like this whole thing of like trying to learn how to write stories, how stories work, and you know, trying from the get-go to write a good story. And I keep trying to do this, and I keep running into like these roadblocks, and I feel like it's not intuitive. It's just like, I don't know, I'm trying to develop characters and then see what their struggle is, and find out what their backstory is, world build, do all that kind of stuff, and I just get lost in it. And I mean, I can keep writing and writing, and you know, maybe it just seems like it just builds and builds, and then I don't know where I am anymore. And sorry about that. I don't know. I think I'm getting like in the way of myself. I always blow it up bigger than it should be, all that kind of stuff. And so there was one thing, that the person said, and I was just like, kind of take it from, because basically what it is, it's the hitchhiker story. And so I was trying to like start from almost the origin of the main character, Seti. And the person was like, well, I like what you originally did in the Life in Space anthology. Like, that's what I want to see more of. And what you're doing now is like, it's not really, it's like not what was originally you were doing. And from my side, I can't really tell that, but from the outside perspective, he could kind of see that. And good thing I got this handy dandy water here. And so, I don't know, I create in a vacuum a lot of times, and I'm glad that I'm collaborating on something. I wish I was collaborating on more of my projects, because I need people to help me, like, figure out where I'm going wrong and stuff like that. Like, there's no way. And I think that, sometimes people think they might be harsh if they're honest with you. And to me, it really doesn't bother me that much. I think it maybe would have when I was younger, but I want people to be honest with me, because I want to make good stuff. And I don't want to just think I'm like working and making something cool, and then come to find out I was starting to be kind of way off base. I mean, who knows? Maybe it would have still been cool if I kept going the direction I was going, but I'll be honest, I was starting to run into those roadblocks, and I don't know, maybe I still will with the way I'm doing it now, but I think I'm like what they call a pantser. I don't know, like, I'm trying to be like a plotter, I'm trying to be like a planner, I'm trying to attack things in a smart way that kind of does what, stories are supposed to do, and I'm finding out that, I don't know, like the way that I originally wrote, like The Hitchhiker, the first 6-page installment, people kind of dig it. And that's how I wrote the first Glyph comic, and that's how I kind of wrote a few things. And when I share my ideas with people, when I write like that, it's literally like I just almost start at the first sentence, and then as long as I get that first thing, it's like, then what? Okay, I write some more. Then what? Then I write some more. Then what? Then I write some more. And it kind of builds off of dialogue. I feel like I can almost write from front to back like a story in that way, and come up with something pretty cool. I mean, it's going to be edited, of course. There'll be things that probably need to be thrown out. In the original Hitchhiker story, the 6-page thing for the Life in Space anthology, there's kind of parts that are maybe unneeded. Like, I don't know where that was going. Like, the whole point of The Hitchhiker is kind of for the twist at the end. It was meant to be just a one-and-done story originally, and all I needed to do was figure out how to get from the beginning to that. But I feel like the stuff I did in between maybe was unneeded, but it's a short enough story so it's not like boring, and the parts that I added are fun in and of themselves. Do they really build up to something important? I don't know, but it shows you what the characters are like. And there's definitely like a personality to Gauguin, and there's a personality to Seti, and to Suzazel, who, whatever. So I don't know, it's fun, and it's not like too contrived, and I feel like what I was doing previously in the last few days was me trying to figure out, like, take it seriously. All right, now I'm doing this story, you know, I did this little story for fun. Now I'm going to take it serious and like make it into something actually substantial and have like themes and, you know, blow people's minds. And I think that I just went a little overboard and lost myself in it, you know, or maybe not lost myself, but lost my way with it. And I'm just really glad that I had somebody who's cares about it to enough that they want to tell me their honest opinion. It's absolutely invaluable, yeah. And now the way I started it, I was like, I just found the starting point of this story, and then what came next was kind of easy. And I feel like that's how I'm going to write it. I think I'm going to write what's called I don't say the S word. Sorry, guys. I know it sounds weird for a grown adult to not say certain swears, but I just don't say that word. But a crappy first draft. Anyways. So there's this whole idea of writing like the crappy first draft, and then you go and you prune and you take stuff out and you put stuff in and blah, blah, blah. And that's a way that a lot of people have found, I think, some comfort in. You know, the first draft doesn't have to be amazing, and then you can edit, and that's where the real writing comes in, blah, blah, blah. It's a good idea, but the stuff I've been learning kind of says, don't do that. Be smart about it, and you won't have to write extra stuff. I think that I need to learn how to write the way that I write first, before I figure out how to do this smart stuff. You know, I have to just write the way I write. And I said that the other day about my drawing too. Like, my style is the way I draw, and if cartoony is easier for me to draw and like more fun, just go with that, even though you don't know if that's the way you want it to be. And I think my art style will evolve to what I want it to be, as long as I just keep doing what's natural, which sounds like, you know, all wee woo or whatever they say. Woo 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 woo. And then I don't know, I'm getting in my own way. So I feel like maybe I should attack Glyph this way too, because Glyph is another story where I'm having this issue with how the heck, I keep world building and then I don't know where to start from there, and I don't feel like I'm getting to where I need to get with it, and I keep rewriting it, and it's I keep getting in my way, you know, instead of just sitting down and writing. Now, I've written about 3 comic pages worth of story here, so we'll see, you know, how this goes. Maybe I'll still get blocked, you know. Either way, at least I'll have somebody to bounce the ideas off of. And this whole thing, with collaborating, I think, maybe we screw ourselves over by trying to do everything ourselves in comics. I think maybe that's why we all have kind of a hard time sometimes. And I heard it right from the beginning of when I was really trying to start work on comics. Don't work in a vacuum. Don't work in a vacuum. And I've tried not to. I've shown people scripts for things at times, but I just haven't had good results with it. You know, I feel like every time I try to show people stuff, they don't get it, or they don't respond, or they give sometimes they give a little bit of feedback, but it's still not enough. I feel like I'm realizing having a collaborator who's going to be there, that you're going to show every little step to, and who cares about the project as much as you do, or at least cares about it to a certain degree, is invested in it to a certain degree. Having that person there is so awesome, and I'm glad that I showed him at this point and didn't continue writing, so that I was writing all kinds of stuff to the point where I I don't know, where I feel like I was writing my way into a labyrinth that I wasn't going to be able to get out of, you know. I didn't feel like that until he told me his stuff was crap. He didn't tell me it was crap. He wasn't a jerk. But, you know, until I realized that maybe this isn't a good direction, I didn't realize I was writing myself into, you know, a corner, basically. So I don't know. We'll see how this works. I'm gonna go with what's natural. I'm gonna go with what's intuitive instead of, like, I have all this stuff I learned about stories in the back of my mind. I'm gonna try to put it forth. I'm definitely understanding story a lot better than I was like 2 years ago. And hopefully that stuff just naturally informs what I do. Same thing with art studies. You know, you might do all these studies, like trying to figure out how things work, and eventually it does, like, naturally, intuitively inform what you do. I think there is something to be said for, like, learning by osmosis or learning intuitively. Those are two kind of slightly different concepts, but I think they're related to a certain degree as well. So, anyways, that's about it. I think that's all I have to say for this one. Day 92. I hope you guys dig it. Hope you guys get something from it. Let me know, like, how do you approach writing? What do you do when you get stuck? Do you work with collaborators, or do you ask somebody to read your script partially through, or when you're done? I feel like I need somebody to look at it every step of the way. Maybe at this point, like, I have that opportunity now to do that, actually, and actually just that aspect of it is making me want to work on this project over other projects, because I think I'm going to learn a lot through this process. So yeah, let me know what you guys do. I'm curious when writing your comic. That's about it. You guys rock. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you tomorrow on the next day of 100 Days of Making Comics. Peace out.